So the whole thing with the Chosen One, the whole thing with Anakin Skywalker is that he's meant to bring balance to the Force. Now, what exactly does bringing balance to the Force mean, and how do you do it? So the Force is an energy that flows from all living things. It's created by all living things and flows from all living things, and everyone is connected through the Force. All living things are connected through this energy that connects us all in sort of like a web of energy. Picture it like a web. And the source of power in Star Wars that people use, of course, is the Force. It is this connective energy that flows from all living things and connects us all. Now, Mortis is a place in this web of power where all of the Force energy that flows from all living things converges. So it all converges on Mortis. And so Mortis acts as a focal point where all the energy of the Force generated by all living things converges, and this convergence means that Mortis is directly connected to all life in the galaxy. Changes on Mortis impact the entire galaxy, and events in the galaxy affect Mortis because it's the same Force energy that flows through both. Essentially, Mortis is like the heart of the Force, where it's all connected and where all its connections and energies intersect. And the light half of those energies are embodied by the daughter, and the dark half of those energies are embodied by the son. And then of course the father is the mediator between the two, and Mortis reveals that balance in the Force comes from controlling all its energies from a central point of convergence. So the father maintains order over both the dark and light sides in the galaxy by being at the heart of where these energies meet and controlling them through controlling the son and daughter. So since Mortis is directly connected to all life, this central control allows influence over the entire Force. Mortis is connected to everything, so it can affect everything. It's a point in the Force where everything, the entire web of power, can be controlled. And so bringing balance to the Force is about controlling the energies of all the light and dark side in the universe, controlling those energies and balancing them out. Bringing balance to them. Bringing balance to the Force is literally exactly what it says. Bringing balance to the entire Force. Balancing the entire Force. And so of course Mortis is a place that connects everything in the universe, and so the more powerful somebody is, the more things they connect in the tapestry that is the Force. The more of the Force they have power over. So the more powerful you are, the worse off it'll be if you go to the dark side, because you take up more of that Force, so you'll turn more of that Force with you to the dark side when you turn. So the more powerful a Force user is, the more connected they are to this giant web of energy. The more control and power they have over the interconnected web of life, so it makes their choices far more consequential. You know, the stronger they are, and that is essentially the whole thing. With great power comes great responsibility. You know, if you're that strong in the Force, you need to balance yourself, you need to remain balanced. You can't go and fall to the dark side, because that's really going to fuck things up for the galaxy. And so that's the significance of the Chosen One. It's a being so powerful in the Force, so strong that he is connected to everything, so he can bring balance to the Force. And that's why the Chosen One is destined to bring balance to the Force, because he's connected to everything. He's got all those connections to be able to affect everything. Exactly like Mortis. And Mortis, of course, is symbolic of everything that happens in all the Star Wars films. And Mortis, as a point where all this power can be controlled, is just a metaphor for how the Chosen One works, and how Anakin's inner power works, and how he's meant to bring balance to the Force. Mortis is just one giant metaphor for the Chosen One's inner power. And it's through all those connections and all the symbolism there that we can really decrypt all these little details in Star Wars, and uncover all those crucial details, you know, like how the Chosen One works, what balance is, how balance works. So both Anakin, the Chosen One, and Mortis are both points in the Force where the entire Force can be controlled and balanced, and that's the significance of Mortis, that's the significance of the Chosen One. Both Anakin and Mortis are embodiments of the Force. And that power is the power within Anakin, and Anakin needs to control that inner power and balance it out. Whatever way Anakin's internal balance leans, the galaxy leans too. And the easy option would have been for Anakin to stay on Mortis, where all the energies light and dark flow around him, and he can draw on them there from around him like we see him do in Season 3, and control the son and daughter that way by using the planet's power. And this way Anakin wouldn't have to fix any of his mental problems, he wouldn't have to master his mind and learn how to control his own power, he could just stay there and balance the Force easily. Because if you pay attention to what's going on in the episode, right, the father wants Anakin to free himself by releasing the guilt.
You must now release the guilt and free yourself by choosing. No!
But Anakin defies that order and instead draws on the planet's power to tame the ones instead. But the father's intent was of course for him to tap into that inner power that connects everything and control his own power, rather than control that same power through controlling Mortis. Of course, the father was telling Anakin to free himself and choose between Ahsoka and Kenobi, which choosing one means letting go of the other, and Anakin doesn't know how to let go yet. This is Anakin's core struggle throughout the 6 films. Yoda tells him in episode 3, you must let go of anything you fear to lose. And ultimately Anakin needs to let go of his conflict, his mental conflict, to control that inner power and bring balance to the Force. And that's eventually what he learns how to do in Return of the Jedi, and that's how Vader brings balance to the Force in Return of the Jedi. Through finally bringing his internal balance back to the light side and learning how to let go like the father told him to do. And ultimately this is why I think the claim that when people say Anakin didn't reach his full potential, Anakin needed to reach his full potential, and all these quotes, all these instances of Anakin being touted as the most powerful Force user, the most powerful Jedi, etc. And when people attribute all that to full potential, I think that kind of misses the point of Anakin as the chosen one. Because it's his one's taming power, his bringing balance to the Force power, that is what makes Anakin significant in the first place. This is what makes him the chosen one, the fact he is able to control everything because he's connected to everything. Anakin's internal emotional balance is synonymous with the balance of the Force, the balance of the galaxy. And that's why he's so important. He is the embodiment of the Force and therefore can bring balance to the Force. So by saying that being the embodiment of the Force was just his full potential and not a state that was constantly within Anakin, and constantly affecting and changing and moulding the balance of the galaxy throughout the Clone Wars and throughout the whole saga of movies, and that it's a state that he never even reaches, you're basically saying that Anakin was never even the chosen one until he reaches his full potential, because he doesn't have those connections to be able to bring balance to the Force until he reaches that full potential. But people claim he doesn't reach his full potential, but he brings balance to the Force in Return of the Jedi, and is already the chosen one, able to bring balance to the Force. It's not something he can become. Now, Anakin's chosen one power doesn't diminish when he's chopped up. He's still the chosen one when he's chopped up. His ability to use that power diminishes, to draw on that power, but the power within him that's connected to all things, the power within him that allows him to bring balance to the Force, is still present. And although Anakin can't bring that full power to bear after his injuries, he can still shift his own inner balance towards the light, and that's what he does, and that's how he brings balance to the Force. And this of course is why everyone was after Anakin. Sidious was after Anakin because of course he's connected to everything, so by turning Anakin dark, he can turn the entire Force to the dark side, and this is why Anakin unlocks the dark side's full potential. They say it on Mortis, the son says, by bringing the chosen one here, you've shown me my potential.
By bringing the chosen one here, you've shown me my potential. You've only yourself to blame.
The chosen one is the key. He who controls Skywalker will control everything.
I've done a video going into this. I've done loads of videos going into everything surrounding Anakin. I've done blogs on it that I've linked in the video descriptions. And there's going to be many more to come, going into every little aspect of Anakin and Anakin's power, and how everything works, those little details in Star Wars. And so the power that people refer to as Anakin's full potential is actually just the power that's always within the Chosen One. The point of the Chosen One is someone who's so powerful that he's connected to everything and can affect everything. So balance depends entirely on the Chosen One's internal state. Balance is manhandling the entire Force and balancing it out. And this is exactly what Anakin does within himself, and that's how he brings balance to the Force in Return of the Jedi. And that's what the Father wants him to do on Mortis. But instead he uses the planet as well, which is another place where the entire Force can be controlled. And ultimately it's his love for Luke and Luke's love for him that allows him to do that, to make that decision. So again, the power is always within Anakin, and it's about balancing that. I've done a video on how and when he unleashes this full power, and I'm going to do loads more on the topic soon, because I think it's one of the most commonly misunderstood topics in the community. A lot of misconception, I think, stems from Lucas's comments, saying Anakin would have been far more powerful, twice as powerful, and all that stuff had he not have been chopped up. But there's Anakin's full potential in two contexts here. There's his chosen one potential, which is what we've covered here, that's always within him, and people convolute that with Anakin's future hypothetical potential had he killed Kenobi and then Palpatine after, which indeed is the context to which Lucas is implying in those comments. So those quotes have absolutely nothing to do with the chosen one or any of those powers. That is just purely a hypothetical future Anakin. You know, he would have been a lot stronger. You know, that's a given anyway. But it's no way talking about Anakin's chosen one powers. That is a power that's always within him. It's not something he has to attain. So there's Anakin's full potential in two completely different contexts here that people merge together and misinterpret when looking at these quotes. And it's these comments and the misunderstanding of those kind of quotes that causes a chain of these vast misunderstandings surrounding Anakin's character and what balance is and what balance means, and Anakin's internal balance and how powerful he is, and how this is actively, his internal balance is actively and constantly shaping the galaxy's balance. That's the whole point of the Chosen One. It's bringing balance to the Force, taking the whole Force and balancing it. Not about grinding as hard as possible to get that powerful and then do it. You could say that about anyone. The Chosen One's someone who already is that strong and can already have that effect. And so balance in the Force is controlling the entire Force, controlling all of the Force's energies and balancing that out. And we see that done through, you know, the Father does it on Mortis, and Anakin does it from within himself. So Anakin's inner power and Mortis are both equivalent powers. And that's how you bring balance to the Force, controlling all those energies. So if you enjoyed the video, you learned something new, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video.